Destroying overthinking. Think accurately. Hello and welcome to Male Wisdom. In this video, I will show you how you can stop overthinking by making sure to think the right way. We will discuss the reasons behind overthinking and overcoming them for good. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button to see more videos like this. By practicing presence, you can eliminate selfish thoughts. Eckhart Tolle's book The Power of Now uses the term presence. A minute spent worrying about the future or lamenting the past is wasted, since all you have is the moment, the now. It also gives you practical ways to start living each minute as it comes. He also discusses how we are addicted to thinking because the review is what builds ego. It is a false identity that we identify with a tale of our mind. We will never think accurately as long as we do our thinking through the filter of this egoism story. If you pay attention, you will see that selfish thoughts feeds on problems. All day we weaken on a horrible incident, but if something nice happens, we give it little more than a few minutes of thought. Most of us set aside a good event in a matter of minutes, an event that we should celebrate and reflect on all day, but we don't. Negative thoughts are food for the ego. Anything that loves problems cannot heal them because it is like a biased judge who would never conduct a fair trial because of his biases. Because the ego enjoys issues, it will simply generate more of them. This is where overthinking comes into play because most negative thoughts feed the ego. It wants to keep eating because there is an infinite supply, but only if you, the host, participate. This is when your presence can break the cycle of agony. Presence is simply that awareness of observing the ego, mind, and body. It may be regarded as your soul. It is the absolute you, your consciousness, the acceptor or rejecter of your thoughts. Ego cannot exist in the light of your consciousness, just as darkness cannot live in the morning, unless you shed the light of your consciousness on this vicious, unconscious cycle. Carl Jung once remarked that you would never be able to think in the right way unless you make the unconscious conscious. It will lead your life, and you will call it fate because most people believe on autopilot under the supervision of their ego and not their present. They are led into dire circumstances and blame it on God's will, not realizing that it is our own thoughts that we linger on all day that are guiding our lives. Overthinking cannot exist once you become aware of it. Don't battle your ideas. Don't condemn them. Simply be present in the time. The instant you identify with them, you lose presence. Therefore, don't fall into that trap. Being free from selfish thinking is the first step toward thinking clearly. Remember that our selfish mind does not have a complete picture of any particular event. It predicts your future based on your past and the minuscule amount of present that it views via the prism of its story. So how can it think accurately? It can't. Believing in the right way entails thinking about what is best for you and understanding that whatever you linger on emerges in your reality. It is to recognize that continuous negative thinking creates disease and misery in life and is the root cause of all dysfunctions. When we understand how reality works, we realize how strong our attention and thinking are. We become more conscious of what we linger on mentally. We begin to invest our review rather than wasting it on pointless mental disputes about how awful your employer is and how you are roasting him in your head all day. Correct reasoning is entirely skewed, slanted in the direction of the reality you desire to manifest. If you create a business that fails, your ego will blame it on your incompetence or the government's fault. For example, if you apply awareness to this scenario, you will recognize precisely what went wrong and how to avoid it in the future. You will not consider this anyone's fault because you are biased towards your success. Make sure to study, progress, and succeed. The ego is preoccupied with the facts of existence, because accurate thinking recognizes that we build our reality. Facts are irrelevant. Situations can shift in an instant. Presence breaks the loop of negative thinking and makes room for what you desire, and when you focus on it, what you want, detailed thoughts begin to flow towards you now and become more and more present in your daily life. Make observing your thinking a habit, especially when a triggering scenario emerges. That is the most important time to be present, because you will notice how the ego plays the game and how negatively biased it is. It makes a bad situation 100 times worse than it is, because it enjoys problems. Your presence in such cases will lift the thought veil. The more you become aware of it, the less power it has, and the more accurate thinker you become, the quieter your mind becomes, and the more tranquil your life becomes. Most importantly, you become free of overthinking. Begin right now, in this very minute, by asking yourself, are you aware right now? That is all for today's video. Let me know your thoughts and requests in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the following video.